guys, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a speed build in the little neighbourhood of Forgotten Hollow. So that does mean that it is going to be a vampire build. And I've been wanting to do a vampire build obviously since the game pack was released. But I was busy trying to get a couple other videos done for you guys. I did a little cast review on the game pack, which I've uploaded, and you can go and check that out, if you like. I also did a build and buy mode review, however I did not upload it, and I don't think I will upload it anymore because I feel like there are a lot of reviews already out on this game pack, so I know you guys will be able to find plenty of other fantastic YouTubers who will have a review out for you guys. So just with this build, just before I get into this build, it is a little bit late over here at the moment, so sorry if I do end up sounding a little sleepy throughout the video. But anyway, so with this build, I did have an idea in my mind with what I wanted to build. However, sorry, I think with what I wanted to originally build, it would have been possibly a little too much for my computer system to handle, so I ended up going with something a little bit smaller, but I am pleased with the outcome of how, I think it looks pretty good considering this is the first time I have ever built something with this type of aesthetic to it, so I'm very happy with how it came out in the end. So what I originally wanted to build was a couple of conical towers. I wanted to have like a moat with a drawbridge and a big sort of castle brick wall type thing with the whole, just the Dracula feel going on and all of that. But yeah, I just really think it would have been too big for my computer system, to handle, so we ended up doing this instead, and I do still get the conical tower in there, so I am pretty happy about that. I do actually speed some of this up quite a little bit because I feel like some of it was very slow. This build was a very meticulous build to do because there was just so much detail I wanted to put into the house, and in order to get that detail, I did come across a lot of little tiny little problems, but they were not easy to fix, so it did take me a while to fix some of those, so that's why I have sped some of it up a little bit more, just to speed through things a little quicker, because some of it does go pretty slow. I naturally am a slow builder anyway, so this is probably extra slow compared to usual. I think I did take an extra 2 hours to do this build, compared to how long I would usually take. So I did also cut out a big chunk of this video at the end, just for the purpose that it would have been too long. Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that this video is part 1 of 2. So in this part, I'm basically just doing the entire outer shell of the house. I don't do any landscaping. I did attempt to try and do floor plans, but I had so much issues with the roofing clipping through the walls and such, because I have all of this complicated roofing on the sides of the house that you can see me doing right now. They just messed up with the game, the way the game reads things, I guess. But anyway, I did solve it in the end, but because it took me so long, I did do the floor plan off screen, but I will have screenshots at the end of the video for you guys to have a look at, since I won't be showing it in the video, and in part 2 you guys will see me finish it if you want to stick around and see part 2. That one should be coming out within the next day or 2 as well. So I was trying to come up with a roof for the very top of the building. I felt like it was a little bit boring just being a square with the gabled roof on top. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually creating sort of like a rim around the entire roof. And you can see it now, and I want to use a fence to fence that off, so it kind of looks it does kind of look like a roof. I think it looks good like this, and just using lots of those new freezers that came with the new game pack. I also sort of tried to play on the idea of the ideas that I had in my mind with the whole Dracula castle type of thing there, and I don't think it worked with the house, so I do actually scrap it. But you can see me here. I'm trying to build some sort of little structure on the side there that sort of resembles a castle. But yeah, no, it just didn't work. I was a little bit sad that it didn't work because I really wanted it to, but I think it's better without it anyway. It's probably a lot better actually without it. So yeah, I also really wanted to get some goblins in this build. I was going to make sure I got some goblins. So I do actually scrap this little castle type thing that I was entertaining. And I tried to put a gargoyle up there. I don't think it looked good though, so I ended up scratching that as well, and we ended up putting 2 chimneys there, which you will see very soon. I was also having like a lot of trouble with the freezers. They weren't clipping to the walls the way I wanted to, so that was really frustrating at the time. It's not frustrating anymore though, thank goodness, because I managed to get it to all work. There is one section actually inside of the house that I could not fix. No matter what I did, I could not figure out how to fix it. So I sort of just hid it behind a wall. I just sort of boxed it off in a little box in the corner. But you know what, I think it doesn't affect it too much on the inside. You will see it, you probably won't even notice it, I think. But yeah. And I really wanted to use this little thing as well, like this little, I don't know what it is, perch type thing. I wanted to use it. It reminds me a lot of, what's it called, of Assassin's Creed, when he goes to the top of the building, when he climbs the top of the building, and then he jumps into the, what do you call it, the haystack? Yeah, when he jumps it and he jumps off the little perch there. That's what that reminds me of. But yeah, I end up doing this instead. I do pull the wall over though to connect with the conical tower so that it doesn't kind of look like it's just been plonked there on the side of the building with this large gap down the middle, and it looks a lot better once it's connected to the conical tower. So I have sped this part up quite a lot. It's probably a little bit too fast, but it will slow down soon, I think. And I put these new little, I don't know what they're called, but these new little things from the game pack and lots of little spikes. I also got some inspiration from another build I saw from somebody within the Sims community who had sort of created like a little fencing around all of the roofing, and I really liked it, so I used it in my build. So yeah, now we're just finding some windows for the house. I really wanted to be able to use some of these stained glass windows because I think they're really nice. I very rarely use them in my builds, so I think it's great to finally be able to use them. I also wanted to sort of put a roofing down the lower section of the tower there. So I added in sort of like another octagon type of room there, just to bring it out a little bit so that I can place roofing on there. I had a little bit of trouble with this roofing, not too much compared to the others. But I did manage to figure it out in the end. Also, if you're wondering how I do these roofings and you would like a tutorial on how to do them, just leave a comment in the description box below. I will most likely be doing a tutorial for them anyway because I know it's going to be very helpful for a lot of people to be able to have a tutorial on how to do roofing for octagon, that's what it's called, octagon and hexagon shaped rooms. So yeah, so there was the little area where I had some trouble. When it comes to doing roofing for these kinds of shaped rooms and things like that, it does actually matter how many tiles you've pulled your walls across and things like that, because your roofing won't fit. But yeah, I will explain a lot more in depth when I do a tutorial on it. But yeah, I really, really, really like this. When I was actually trying to do these builds, this build, sorry, before I did it, I actually did a bunch of, Google image searching, and I saw a lot of them had these towers. That is one of the reasons why I wanted to include a tower. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the tower. This is because it's the first time I've ever, in my entirety of playing Sims 4, have I built a tower that looks like legit. Usually they look very odd and funny, but I'm very happy with it. So we use those Glazed. I think I meant to say glass stained. Yeah, so we use some of those glass stained windows, and I believe we do change the top one. I put in two, one above the other, so one on each story, but I believe we changed the second story windows. I can't remember if I do actually change it on screen or if I changed that off screen. It could have been possible that I did change it off screen. Oh, sorry, I must mention that I also did build a little basement as well off screen. So yeah, I will put that in the screenshots as well, because I completely forgot about it when I was doing this, and I remembered after I finished recording that I wanted to put a basement down there, for basically the same reason why everybody else is building a basement, so that the vampires have a place to sleep, so that when people come over, nobody's going to know. So I'm putting these little things in again. I don't even know what they're called, but I'm putting them in again because it was so annoying. I don't know why, but they kept disappearing. Like, I'd put a freeze on and they'd poof, disappear. I'd change the roof and they'd disappear. I don't know where they kept disappearing to, but they just kept disappearing. So I had to keep putting them back, and I think I do put it back one more time very, very shortly. So you will see that. I really, really, really love the new build items. I actually enjoy the build items a lot more than I enjoy the cast items. There are some nice pieces in the cast, especially hair. I really love the hairstyles that came with the cast and a few of the items in the clothing. But I wasn't too big a fan of a few of the items. But I must say, I'm pretty much happy with almost every single item in the build by menu. I'm very, very happy about it. I've used so much, I think those pillars, I'm pretty sure those pillars, they're from the Vampire game pack. The little black fencing is from the Vampire game pack. The freezers, the awnings, I think they're called awnings. Again, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this as some of my other videos that have awnings in it, or whatever they're called, but I always call them awnings and I have no idea what they're called. And because I don't know what they're called, if I'm wrong, I'm talking about the little things, the little detail railing things underneath the awnings. I mean, the freezers, sorry, underneath the freezers. So, yeah. So here is where I was having issues. I wanted to start working on the floor plan, but you can see I've got the freezers right there cutting inside the house, and I didn't know how to get rid of it, and I thought the only way I could probably get rid of it was by creating one entire big room so that it would go around the entire outside. That did actually work relatively well, so I was pleased about that. It did take me a couple tries though to get it absolutely perfect, so yeah, it's all a little bit of a trial and error again. Um, I think we should be coming up to painting it soon. I could be wrong, however, because it does look like we are putting more of those freezers on. Like I said, everything was trial and error in this. A lot of things they kept disappearing when I would change certain things, or they'd get deleted, so I'd have to go back in and add them in. So that is probably one of the main reasons why this build did take me a very, very long time. I really, really like these new windows as well. I know I mentioned everything else, but I forgot to mention these windows and the gargoyles. I'm not sure if you noticed, but right on the little roofing there where the doorway is going to be, the little entrance, there is a gargoyle that is right over the staircase. So I thought that was really, really nice. He fit very nicely there. I wasn't actually planning to put him there. I think I was planning to put him on the tower, but he just fit perfectly in that little spot, so that's where he stayed. I've got these little gargoyles here. I did remove one. I'm thinking now that I may possibly put him back there because I feel like he fit well there. At the time, I wasn't too sure. I don't know. I'll see when I decorate. I might change my mind again. Who knows? So we're putting in the chimneys now, and I was trying to look for one that sort of looked old school, and I couldn't find any. And I was like, thinking in my head, these little ones would be perfect. And yeah, I probably forgot that we could size up things. So that's what I did. I ended up sizing it up, and I put about 3 of them in there, even though there's probably only going to be like one fireplace, or maybe 2. I might put one down in the basement underneath the little vampire dungeon. The vampire, the little vampire, I'm going to call it vampire dungeon instead of the basement because it sounds cooler. So the little vampire dungeon, it's quite cool, I think. I've sort of sectioned it off so that, because I am planning to move in my current vampire Sims family, and at the moment they've got a little toddler and they've got a little baby, which was really odd. She had the baby while I wasn't even playing the game. I found it really, really odd because I have it on so she doesn't age up. So I found it really odd that she had the baby, but she had the baby anyway. So I have sectioned it off into 3 different sections, and basically it's like a little section for the parents' coffins, and then you'll have a toddler bed for now and a crib in the other room for now. So yeah, it should be pretty cool. It is a lot like I actually renovated the starter home that's in Forgotten Hollow when I first moved in there because it was too small, and I wanted it to be vampire-esque. So I did actually renovate that, but it didn't look that great. So I did record it. Let me know if you want to see it. I probably won't upload it though, but if you do, I might think about uploading it. So, but yeah, I sort of based the basement or the vampire dungeon off of the little dungeon that I built in the renovation I did of the starter home. So we should be coming up to the screenshots in a couple minutes. I have just put on the paint or the bricks on the outside of the building, and just changed up the foundation a little bit, and I've also gone and put in some lighter brown bricks in certain sections of the house because I thought it would look nicer with a few different colours, just to add a little bit more or a little something, so that, you know, to make it a little bit more interesting. I was trying to find the right word for that, but I couldn't really find the right word, so oh well. There we go. I think this is the final time that I have to put these back in. I think after this time putting them back in, they stayed there. So I have this you can see that little room at the very top there. There's no way to access that room, but I'm curious whether you could travel by bat form into these little rooms. I'm not too sure if you can. If you can, that would be really cool. I'm guessing you'd still need to have a door though, because bats still can't get in through a window pretty much. But I was thinking maybe if you couldn't get in as a bat, possibly you could get in through mist form. I'm not too sure. It would be really, really cool if you could, because then I could really make that room usable, and maybe put like a little secret room in there. I do actually have a little room that's sort of cut off, and I did think about using it as a little secret room, but I'm not too sure if they can access it. It would be really, really cool again if they could. So I'm putting some, what do you call them? Ivy, I think. Just some ivy up along the walls, some greenery, just to make it look a little bit more not so flat. I feel like it looks a little flat on the side because it's the one color, so that's why I've gone ahead and I've added in all of these little plants and things, and I do go in and add some cracks all along the outside of the buildings. I uplarge some of them, I layer them, I add some of them to windows so they look like they're cracked windows. I accidentally did that actually. I put one on top of the window. I was like, hey, it looks like it's a crack, so I just left it and I thought it looked pretty cool. So here we've got the cracks and they look really, really cool. I think they look very realistic as well for the game graphics. I'm really, really, really enjoying a lot of the content from this pack. But anyway, we are coming up to the screenshots, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to give it a like and hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye!